Get in, loser. We're going to see Charlie XCX. Hi, Ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we'll be reviewing episode 14 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 14. Spoiler alert, yet another non-elimination episode. But hey, we've got a top 5, so nothing to be too mad about. And the stakes are even higher. RuPaul's Drag Race just announced that the runner-up of this season is going to get $50,000 cash prize money, which I'd say is long overdue. Let's give the queen a tucking dollar, in the words of Yara Zofia. In today's episode, our queens were challenged to write lyrics for, perform in, and learn choreography to RuPaul's new music video or live performance video, Catwalk. And the runway category was, I'm a winner, baby. So we'll be breaking all that down, checking in on how the fans have been voting for who they want to win the crown on Instagram and Twitter. Plus, at the end of today's video, we'll be taking a look at Willam's recent apology for the comments that she made on last week's episode of her first impressions with Bob the Drag Queen. We've got a lot to cover today, but first, the number one question I've been getting recently is, where in the world are you watching RuPaul's Drag Race? On streaming platforms I already pay for with the help of award-winning VPN and today's video sponsor, Surfshark. For example, you can only stream certain seasons of Drag Race and other TV shows based on where you live in the world because streaming platforms geo-restrict their content. But with Surfshark, I can click one button and virtually relocate myself to the UK, for instance. Voila, fish, chips, and RuPaul's Drag Race. I also love Surfshark because it can protect your identity online, block ads and trackers, and hide your internet traffic from the prying eyes of your internet service provider, or snoopers on public Wi-Fi. And best of all, you can use Surfshark on all your devices with unlimited device login. Plus, there's no risk in just trying it out because Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you need a VPN, and everyone does, or you're just looking for a better one, then click the link in the description of my video and use code BUSSY during checkout to get 83% off and 3 extra months of Surfshark for free. Thanks Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Now let's hit the highway and drop these queens off from raddest rat to hottest hot. First up is Bosco. Coming into this pre-finale episode with a total of 3 challenge wins across our 14 episodes so far. All comedy challenges, by the way. For the commercial her team made for that Save a Queens parody, her excellent lead on the DragCon panel about Men's and the roast of Ross Matthews. Bosco has, without question, been a powerhouse in this season. And it seems like the fans are receiving her being in the finale well as well. We've got almost 30,000 Instagram likes for her post on the RuPaul's Drag Race Instagram and about 14,000 Twitter engagements. Now let's zoom over to the challenge. Firstly, the outfit that she designed for this came out really bad. And that's no secret. I want to say it probably is not totally her fault though. The sketch looked pretty cute and it really wasn't up to her how the designer, I guess, that they had making these outfits actually made the outfit. So we'll say it was 50% her fault and 50% the designer's. It was very much giving me Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Can I See a Manager realness. Go, go, Bosco Rangers. But let's go ahead and Mighty Morph over into her lyrics, which actually opened the remix of this song. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I did show some skin. Don't fight, shh. Give in. And on paper, I do think Bosco had some excellently written lyrics that were self-referential just enough for her little Demon Queen of Seattle persona that she carries in drag. However, in the final delivery of the song, I think the producers blended her voice in a little too much with the track, kind of leaning into that airy house music 90s vibe. And I actually, when I was originally listening, didn't even realize that we had transitioned from RuPaul's chorus into Bosco's lyrics. So her verse itself, I'm definitely gonna give a but when we factor in that outfit and how the sound of her voice ended up blending into the song just a little too much, I think I'm gonna have to give her final performance a rat. But a very soft one, very soft. And over on the runway, Bosco's got another case of a great idea with maybe not the best execution tonight. Overall, I think we have to comment on how beautiful she looks. I think that soft blue opera glove and train are absolutely gorgeous. But I really don't like how that train cuts her waist off right in that middle with that giant chunky piece. Plus, the nude illusion of the base fabric of this gown, while pretty, wasn't that much of a nude illusion. I think I would have preferred this gown overall done in that beautiful blue fabric that was used for the accessory pieces. Plus, I think it was a little bit of a missed opportunity for her not to include some horns in her final runway. This is the last chance, I think, for you to showcase to the judges who you are and why you're a winner and what your brand is. Our Demon Queen of Seattle was really just giving Dreamy Queen of Seattle. So I'm gonna have to leave this look at a 2 flame warming up. Next up, check it's Angeria, who is entering our little pre-finale episode with 2 challenge wins across the season, getting a win in that episode 2 talent show and the Super Teasers commercial challenge. Checking in with the audience, we've got about 24,000 likes on Instagram and 13,000 Twitter engagements. In the Catwalk challenge today, the outfit that she designed was serviceable. It definitely was not a flop. I just think it wasn't anything particularly exciting. As Michelle said, it's a bodysuit. Her verse, though, I think it was absolutely outstanding. Check. From the country to the silver screen, it's Angie bitch living out my dreams. And at the end of the day, I'ma always slay. Never let a bitch take my shine away. Wow. I'm gonna let this brush take my shine away though. Oily Skin Crew, where you at? I think for me, it really was the delivery of her verse. She came in there like a juggernaut in the song. Like, looking back, was her choreo not totally well executed? Sure. Did she totally miss the hint / full-on suggestion from Michelle about crawling? Sure. But to be punished in such a way that landed her in the bottom, that gooped and gagged me. More on that later though. Her verse in the song was so strong that I have to give this whole performance, all things considered, a hot. But on the runway, there's been a death. Or maybe she was just mourning how she performed in the challenge. She comes out for her finale runway in all black. And don't get me wrong, I think this gown was beautiful from head to toe. But we have seen time and time again, the stage lights are not as bright, I think, as they could be. And on an all black gown with not a lot of shine, you end up losing a lot of the detail. But when you zoom in and turn up the brightness and saturation for how this show is filmed, you can see those beautiful ruffles at the top, and that skirt of the dress is gorgeous and absolutely perfectly constructed. She's been a queen who throughout the season always has her fit and gowns on point. But again, I'm a winner, baby. I will draw a comparison here to Crystal Versace's all black dress that she wore on UK3. And I do think Crystal's gown was a little more successful and worked in the realm of RuPaul's Drag Race stage lights a little bit better because of all the bling that she added with the jewelry. So maybe this look was missing a little bit of bling and shine to work on stage, but I definitely am going to give this a 3 flame safe hot. Next up, take a Willow Pill. Her mind. Miss Willow Pill is coming into this pre-finale episode with just one challenge win from the entire season, from the ball in episode 3. But let's not forget how iconic her talent show was, or that she did a great job in the roast, and pretty much every other comedy challenge. And no surprise, when we check the social media engagement for hashtag Team Willow, we see 76,000 likes on Instagram and 54,000 Twitter engagements. Wow, she is blowing the other queens out of the water here. Fan favorite? Yes, she is. But let's talk about what happened in this episode. The outfit she designed for the challenge I thought was good. Amazing? Not quite, but good. Very good. But also, like, when they asked her if that was like her face silhouette on the dress and she said yes, girl, what? Like, that could be anyone's profile. Like, might as well have been mine. But whatever. Her lyrics. Take a Willow Pill. Do my sick bitch looks have you feeling ill? We live in a matrix, I'm the solution. Get lost in my sauce, cause it's all an illusion. Fabulous lyric writing. I loved also that she was self-referential to RuPaul's name pronunciation. And if we were evaluating the queen's performance in this challenge solely on lyrics, I would absolutely have given the win to Willow. But the performance wasn't perfect. It was, I think, like Bosco's and Angeria's, missing a little bit of that intensity. But even with the glitches in her actual performance, this absolutely gets a hot from me. And on the runway, she starts off by saying that she loves rats. Who doesn't, right? I will say though, this was giving me a little more mouse than rat. Because when I think of rats, I think of somebody like Peter Pettigrew from the Harry Potter franchise. Dirty, crusty, disgusting, you know, like that. And Willow's look here is a little more Disney, safe, happy, pretty, elegant. But maybe that's just a stereotype about those little rodents that I have. Regardless, though, I thought this look was really great because it was different from what everyone else did. But while I think it was really fun and fresh, I do think some of the details weren't totally finessed. Like when she turns around, you can see the hot pink zipper, which really felt a little bit out of place. And I think she was maybe missing a little bit of va-va-voom in the overall silhouette. Maybe a little more sparkle and shine could have been given on like the shoulder area or something. But overall, an absolutely adorably hot look. Next up, you better be ready. It's Daya Betty, who is also coming into this episode with one challenge win from that mid-season 60s girl group episode. She also, don't forget, was in the top 2 with Lady Camden back on that Daytona Wins episode where they lip-synced for the win. So, you know, if they hadn't been lip-syncing, she arguably could have shared a second win there. In the fan polling though, not doing so hot. Instagram likes were sitting at about 20,000 and Twitter engagements 12,000. I was also dying when during the TikTok lunch, RuPaul told her that she saw too much Eldebarge in her, meaning that RuPaul just basically has Crystal Method's name saved as Eldebarge, and like it took him a second to be like, oh, Crystal Method. Let's get into her catwalk. The outfit that she designed was the best of the entire set of queens, hands down. It was absolute perfection. It fit her like a glove. I loved that thigh boot going all the way up. And it was also a fresh look for Daya, while I think still being very on brand. I got bangs. Her lyrics, she says, "You see me stomp the floor left to right. Walk the runway with my heels sky high. Yeah, the mug is stamped and my waist is thinner, so you better be ready because I'm always been a winner." And she was a queen who, for me on this episode, didn't have the strongest lyrics. They were just a little too, I think, cliche with, you know, wanting to be a winner and being on top, but she easily had the best delivery, choreography, and overall performance when you look at what she did on that catwalk in the video. Daya, for me, in the challenge, definitely ended up at the tippity top of my list. And over on the I'm a Winner Baby runway, girl, she burned that up too. To bits. Singed. And cinched. Absolutely loved her take here on this runway. It was edgy, punky, unique, very true to her style, and definitely something we've never seen before on the runway. Plus, no other queen can rock yellow like Daya does. And girl, y'all know I love a big bustle. The only thing I wish that she would have done on this runway is switched up the hair a little bit. We've just seen this black choppy mullet so many times, and I also do think there's a way she could have done the black choppy mullet with a bigger hair. Because again, with all that height and Glamazonian womananess that she has, just want more up here, that's all. Overall though, of course, this look is so spurned to a crisp. And finally at the top of my list tonight, Lady Camden, who's coming into this episode with 2 challenge wins and got her 3rd tonight for her performance in Daytona Wins and Moulin Rouge the Rusical. And Camden's performance throughout this season, I think, has gotten an interesting evaluation from the judges, because so many times I felt like they wanted me to believe that she was not doing as well as she was doing. Like, I just felt like they really wanted to build that character narrative of her needing to come out of her shell. And not only do I and the judges love Lady Camden, but it looks like y'all do too. On Instagram, she's got about 50,000 likes, and Twitter, 31,000 total engagements, which makes her 2nd right behind Willow. And in the challenge for this episode, I think that she designed the 2nd best outfit. It was very much true to her love of, or should I say worship, the Spice Girls. And I love seeing her adapt like a punkier, edgy style in this video. And her lyrics, gonna make you snap, gonna make you say, step, smack, and pas de bourrée. And girl, I don't know what a pas de bourrée is, but I like it. Twist, turn, levitate, act, pose, captivate. And yeah, she did it. She captivated from beginning to end in the choreo, the delivery of her lyrics, and the actual lyric writing. It was effortless, elegant, and I think just absolutely proves the undeniable star quality of this queen. All things considered in this challenge, nobody bested Lady Camden. This performance was hot. And on the runway, oh my god. Here it is. Look at the material. Look at the material, whatever side it's on. Look at the material on both sides. The color, the stoning, the absolute beauty of what she has done here. Stunning. She's giving me Waterford Crystal Fabergé egg or something. It's just absolutely stunning the way she came out on the runway like that. The one critique or question that I have is, could she have taken this runway to a different, more unexpected place? And I think the answer is yes, obviously, because we have seen elegance and beauty and grace from Camden time and time again. However, I think that you don't always need to switch it up if you are going to elevate and go beyond the same category of thing that you've given before and really take it to that next highest level. So mama, this look is hot. So ultimately, I did agree with the judges tonight, and she deservedly so takes the win for this episode. Again, giving her 3 challenge wins across this 14 season episode. 14 episode season. However, I do feel like the judging for this episode was kind of all over the place for the rest of the queens. Because I actually watched this episode with my good Judies, Sailor and David, over on Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen. That's my members only website where you can get exclusive member benefits like early access to my YouTube videos, access to exclusive videos, and access to the Bussy Queen Discord server. And you can join by clicking the link in the description of this video. See you there. But we literally watched this challenge and all collectively said, damn, Willow Pill and Angeria killed it. But then they both ended up in the bottom. And I was like, what? However, I will say, upon watching the challenge video back several times, I did begin to see what the judges were saying about the actual choreo and performance of what Angeria and Willow did. It just wasn't up to par with, as we've talked about, what Daya and Camden did. And I think the biggest shocker of the entire set of placements tonight was actually having Bosco as safe. Because I think all things considered, the outfit that she did in the challenge, how she delivered the lyrics, the little missteps and lip syncing choreos she did in the video, and her final runway, just one ladder rung beneath the rest of the cast, and I think she should have been lip syncing next to Angeria. But, of course, let's not forget that Miss Angeria and Willow Pill have been very vocal about becoming very good friends throughout this competition. So I think the producers knew that they were gonna go into the finale with 5 queens and took a little opportunity here to, you know, force a best friends lip syncing to the death. You know, a tale as old as Jujubee and Raven. That's just how I would have placed the queens, and, you know, I'm just one critic. Let me know what y'all thought about these placements in the comments down below. The lip sync that we did end up with, though, I thoroughly enjoyed, and I loved how they interacted with each other, and both had a great time and sold the song. If I had to pick a winner here, it would have been Willow. However, I mean, again, close, so close. So ultimately, I was thrilled that we got to see all 5 of these queens go into the finale. When it's right, it's right. And now, grab your cuppa. Don't use that tongue pop. No, that was not a good tongue pop. Girl, I cannot do tongue pops if the mouth is dry. What's going on? Anyways, back to the tea. This is a short clip of what Willam said on Purse First Impressions about Angeria.
Like, she's obviously going to be in the final 4 because she's the only black girl left. Is that bad to say? Can I be that honest? Because
I think that there is...
They don't want an all... Look at season 4, 5, 6, and then I think 7. It was all white girls, and then...
What was it? No, when?
Yes, there were no black girls. Let me say that.
There we go.
There were no black girls in the final 4, 5, 6, 7.
The top 4 were all
Kim, Naomi, you. Yeah, it was
and
great.
Chi-Chi. The top 4 was all people of color.
Which apparently was at some point actually cut out of that YouTube video, so if you go back, you won't see it. And the fans were very quick to catch these comments from Willam and called her out in places like Twitter and Reddit. And this is what Willam actually posted on one of the Reddit posts discussing this topic. My crass analysis deserves an explanation. I was looking at it from a production standpoint about never having an all-white finale again. Seasons 3 through 7 had no black girls. My reasoning for the comment without context does sound shitty and denigrating to Angeria, who I regard as a fierce queen and talent that I would tip. I've been all for Angeria from the get. Listen to my pod, I love her. I stand by my statement about production wanting a diverse finale though, and going easier/harder on judging for girls they want to place where they want. And she also addressed this again on the latest Race Chaser episode, saying this.
Can I apologize for something I did on Purse First, because I feel like I need to? We were talking about the finalist girls, and I said it's kind of obvious that production doesn't want a finale that's not diverse with like all white girls again. They want to be inclusive. So sometimes judgings go softer or harder based on where they want people to place. And I said something on Bob's thing where we were talking about the finalists, and we all knew Deja was going home. So I was like, well, they're gonna keep Angeria. She's black, you know, they need a black girl. And in my head, I'm like, fat girl, black girl, antagonist. Like I check boxes in my head and I think like a producer, and I'm detached emotionally, and I say stuff that out of line and flippant when it doesn't come with the context that's also going on in my jumbled ass head. So I'm sorry if you were offended, and I didn't mean to say it. I meant it from a technical standpoint where like Angeria is going to be in the finale. She deserves to be in the finale, but also in my head, I was saying this is locking her place up in the finale because they need diversity in it.
Concerning my thoughts here, of course, I have already said I think all of these queens deserve to be in the finale. Black, white, and gray. The competition this season has been so strong, and honestly, I don't think that there has been favoritism for anyone except maybe Bosco, who we, you know, can't ignore, has lip synced quite a few times and also gotten the gold bar. But on the other hand, she also has 3 wins, so I think it all kind of balances out there. But as always, I'd love to know what y'all are thinking about all this down in the comments below, so leave me a comment and let me know what you're thinking. And as for my hottest hats Yes! On the runway, it's gonna go to Lady Camden, and in the main Catwalk challenge, Lady Camden. I'm a stan. I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hots, and this week on the runway, they've chosen Lady Camden, and in the main challenge performance, Daya Betty. And as always, I wanna say thanks so much to you for watching today's video. Today's video sponsor, Surfshark, and my generous patrons who make my channel possible. And I wanna give a special shout out to Seyran, Charles Sandus, Kayla Parker, Jamamamar, or should I say Jammer, and Ash BC, who've all just joined my Patreon at the hot tier, and Adrienne Burwinkle, Angel Cyrus, Daniel Drummond, Dark-Sided Otter, David Webb, Dicky, Felicia, Hector Simancas, JB, Jeffrey, Joseph, Josh Marchant, JP in Dallas, Laura Bassett, Lewis Labrador, Mark James, Matthew Burns, Matthew Bauer, Maxie LaWow, Michelle Yorbell, Miss F. Neely, Ryan Beats, Sailor, Steven, Topher, Triton, and Wheelie, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier. See y'all later. Love ya. Bye.